Okay, so dear masters, we will continue with our topic of soul plan. And as we were discussing that how to, find your own soul plan. So let me start. Sure. Okay. So the question comes how to find, and which we discussed last time. Some more details we will take today. It's related to caregiving, but it will give a different dimension, a more detail of certain things that you will be able to understand, because sometimes we feel that easy ways, if anything is repeating in your life, intensity is going up, things like those, they are certainly the one which you would like to pay attention to. But let's continue this journey and look into some examples, real ones, so that we understand these topics. So we will go over a real example of Bob and Catherine, and we will understand that the pre-birth planning, and sometimes it is not just one, it may be prior to birth. So again, this is a real example as given in the book, and I can share some of the other one from the workshop as well. So first is this Bob and Catherine. Right after the retirement, Catherine fell ill and needed full care. Now, what does that mean for their relationship is, that's what the medium revealed the truth and let Bob know about the pre-birth planning, the soul plan. So earlier of the two lifetime. So first, the couple was in reverse role. Bob was the wife and Catherine was the husband. So this is one of the previous lifetime. And they had a child which was healthy until age 5. And then this girl child, they contracted a disease similar to polio, and she was paralyzed. And in that case, Bob, who was the mother in that role, provided total care. But he had, that time was the mother. So in that role, had 2 younger children. So children were sent away at first so that they don't catch the disease. And then after some months, they came back. Now, the whole life seemed to be about taking care of the sick kid. The child who was sick, so obviously was taking all the attention. And in that role, certainly as a mother, she loved the child. And she could not bear to see the child in that situation. So what she did, took the other 2 children and left the sick child with the father. And the father, who was Catherine in the previous life. So because the role switched. Now, of course, doing so, the mother was not happy at all from the heart, but with the choice that she made. But from her perspective, at that time, what seemed right, she did, and she left with the other 2 children. Now, the part of the pre-birth planning in this lifetime was to stay to take care of Catherine, because in the previous life, the soul had left. So that's why in this life, it was decided that, okay, this way, Bob will take care of Catherine, because in the previous life, she had left him with the child who was sick. So by serving to Catherine in this life, Bob is balancing much of the karmas which was incurred during the past life. Now, if you remember, karma has 2 parts, balancing and releasing. So what is the releasing part here? Releasing part is that Bob is also healing the underlying tendency to flee from difficult situation. That was the reason that why in that life the soul left the father with the sick child. The tendency of fleeing from difficult situation is what Bob was trying to heal. So not only you balance, in this case, Bob is balancing, means by giving care, because previous one did not, and also taking care of the root cause, which was the tendency to flee from difficult situation. So this way, what it is telling us is whatever is happening because of balancing and releasing of karma. And that is the soul plan. Now, second of the earlier lifetime, this was one previous life. There was another previous life where Catherine was the mother and Bob was the son. So again, we talked about soul family, and now you see they are switching roles in different lifetimes. They are still kind of a same soul family, changing roles. In that lifetime, Catherine was the mother and Bob was the son. Now she was very loving and beautiful woman, beautiful mother. Now, Bob's father had died a few years earlier, and there were no sibling, just mother and the child. And when he was 16, the mother was injured in a carriage accident, and she became partially paralyzed, and Bob was taking care, whatever, in terms of, running the house, and now you have to take care of the mother also. Now, Bob did it. Now, while taking care, as you grow old, so he also, like, as time passed by, he got married and the mother was with them, sharing the attention between the wife and the mother. So Bob was doing that part right, but there was undertone of resentment. Now, he did take care of the mother, but was not able to do it with love. So Master, this is key point here. Taking care of loved ones who need attention, care is one thing, but not being able to do with love was the underlying tone, or you can say the reason of that resentment. Now, with this, what happened? Because we may have challenges in our life, if you don't take care of them with love, it will convert into pain. So love must be extended to the self as well as to others. Caring for yourself, or as you caring for others. So this is one thing which we will see, that how you're doing everything but not doing with care, with love, resentment. And sometimes, when you're doing it for such a long time, humanly, it is natural to have it. But that's why this soul plan, and in the next life, you are trying to balance it. And why we pick this kind of life, these reasons comes. So in the first lifetime, Catherine, who was the father, was very angry, feeling himself abandoned because the wife left with the other two kids, left the sick, the child with him. In the second lifetime, as a mother who became injured, she felt unworthy to ask for care and love. Why? Because she could see that she is a burden to the son because of the resentment. Because of the son's resentment, she feels resentment. That means one negativity gave birth to the other negativity. And that negative energy fed into her anger over being disabled. So when you're taking care of any loved ones, we have to be very careful that we don't add that negativity in the other person's life, because now that person has to take care of it in the subsequent life. False belief, the soul who has responded to a challenge in the past life, by developing feeling or beliefs of unworthiness, would then seek a similar type of experience in another lifetime in order to rise above it, because you have to overcome it. And the soul has to realize the infinite worth, the potential that we have. So this way, when we do certain thing, but with resentment, then these situations do arise. Now we can talk about the timing, that why only after retirement. So it was part of the plan. Bob felt that in this incarnation, if this he plans little early in the life, he would abandon Kathleen again. So it needed to come at a point where it was very clear that he would not abandon her again. So the caregiving contract was with Catherine, not with the children. And that's why by the time you are at retirement, your kids are all grown, you have taken care of them, they are out of your life, and now you can focus as a couple. In this specific case, it was just between them. That's why the kids were out of the picture. In a different karmic situation, yeah, it could have been with one of the children. But in this case, it was between them. That's why after retirement, kids are out, and we are not inducing any negativity or any other karma issues with the children. So that's why it was at the retirement. So some people may judge Bob's children for not taking care of the parent, helping Bob or helping the mom. But this contract was between Bob and Catherine, not with the kids. So sometimes, we see and we pass judgment. Oh, look at this person, their children are not taking care of them. Well, you don't know. If the soul plan, if this agreement is between the husband and the wife, then kids are not supposed to come in between. But we don't know that. We just, pass the judgment. Oh, the kids are not taking care of the parents, or things like those. So when we talk about balancing and releasing, how would we know that we have balanced and released the karma with the one we are caring for? So there are two phrases: karmic lesson, karmic challenges. So when there is fear or stress, the body contracts. It shows up sometime as, some kind of ailments, some diseases like heart problem, blood pressure, immune system diseases, anything like that. When there is the ability to work skillfully with stress, you can feel the openness or lack of contraction in the body. And one can learn that, how to read the body, use this as a barometer and understand what your body is trying to tell you. So fear, stress is one fundamental thing. Like, we say one of the low level energy emotions, kama, krodha, moha, maya. These are the things that will get us into situations, and we create new karmas, and then the whole cycle keep on going. But it is all for learning. So when one is simply moving along day to day, as much kindness as possible, with love, grace, and ease, when you have helped the ill one through a period of time, when the mind, your mind is ceased to obsess about the situation, cease to attack the other or the self, you can reasonably certain that karma has been resolved and balanced. That means you are taking care of the person, you are helping the family member, loved ones, whosoever it could be, whether you're within your family, neighbor, colleague, anyone who you are taking care. And if you can do that without any stress, without any fear, without pain, without blaming yourself, without blaming anyone else, that means you have overcome the root cause that you had in your soul plan. You have resolved and balanced. But if you are always getting upset, like we say, always getting irritated, full of stress, and not knowing where life is taking you, that means it is not yet resolved and balanced. So, the karmic lesson is, there's a phrase you can use, the personality maturation through responsibility to family. So if you want to build compassion, you have service to your family, you wanted to experience yourself as very patient, very cooperative, and that kind of experience you want to have, then yes, you have to reach that level where you come to terms, you understand, and then no more anger, fear, or anything, and you are just serving them. So sometime you do your best learning when your personal freedom is limited. You learn from the restriction and limitation. And that's why we are in a situation where, sometimes when you're taking care of someone, you feel I'm very much restricted, limited. I cannot go here. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. All those restrictions as a human, yes, we feel frustrated, but for soul, this is the time you are learning. And another important karmic lesson is the emotional independence. So you stop blaming others for your challenges. You planned it and you start taking care of it. You learn that you are the source of your own happiness. You're not dominating people to get them fulfill your needs, or blaming others and all those things. No. So emotional independence is key. It's very common again and again in the soul planet comes. So in this case, Bob, who was feeling bad for neglecting Catherine in the past lives because of his own self-centeredness and arrogance. So that is why in this life, it was planned this way, that he is taking care of her after retirement. No arrogance, no selfishness. Now the question comes, am I worthy of care and love? Again, the false belief and these things comes into picture. So what happens is, like in this case, when she was resentment, came from the son to her, and she was feeling that, is she really worthy of being taken care of, worthy of love, worthy of, all those things comes into your mind. But that's the reason this has been planned this way. So how we take care, with love, with a smile on the face, or with resentment, this is key topic. So caregivers may cultivate empathy and express love, and often in ways that they could not do it in previous life. So in this example, Catherine has given him both opportunity and motivation to learn kindness, patience, and compassion. So that's why Bob is taking care at that age and learning those things, the kindness, patience, compassion, which he had missed in the previous life. Caregiving also, lends itself to judgment. Apart from judging themselves, they often judge the one they are taking care of. They may feel they are not responding as they would like. So they are judging the behavior of the person they are taking care of. Now, you cannot cease to judge others until you no longer judge yourself. So you have to stop judging yourself before you can stop judging others. If you are judging another person, rest assured that you carry the same judgment of yourself. So when we are trying to, judge others, we have to look inside and see where the reflection is coming from. So yes, seeing a loved one in need of care can be really a heartbreaking experience. But we have to remember it is intended to be so. It was planned. So it is not by accident. Only that which is brittle can break. And as soul, we wish to love unconditionally. That's the nature, and that's the, you can say, the whole basic fundamental for soul, this unconditional love, abundance, and all these, high level energy, gratitude, love. We want the life to crack open that brittle parts of our heart. That means we are trying to heal ourselves. That means we are moving forward. Because in this life, this is what we are trying to do. So sometime things may not be clear. Sometime it may be a long journey that, it becomes painful, yes. But if we stop looking from the human eye, we start looking from soul's perspective, even if you don't know the exact soul plan, but if you look from that perspective, you would understand slowly and slowly. Things will become very clear. And, I can give you some other examples that how things at first looks very, painful. A couple of real examples, and these are not from the books, but otherwise. In one case, the person was having financial losses and huge, again, intensity increasing again and again. And, so always you feel that, why I'm having losses, why I'm losing such kind of big amount. Because we are stuck in that particular emotion. The moment you start looking inward, that means you start what we say introspection. Slow down. Take a pause. When we do meditation, we say we look inside. And then the person realized that, yes, I was having losses one after another. Increasing in intensity means increasing in the amount. However, there were other areas where there were huge gains, financial gains. So it is not that I'm going through the losses. It is just a particular type of investment is giving me losses, whereas other type, I'm gaining a lot. And then all you have to do is, in this case, the person has to just understand and fine tune your actions. It's like if you don't like science subject, you like arts, you like painting, and you're still studying science. All you have to do is leave science, go towards arts, learn painting, learn music, whatever you want to learn. That's all. It's not that life is challenging you or punishing you. No, it's just bringing you where your path belongs. Another example, person was very upset that, at the workplace, the department was changed. And, you are very good at what you do and you think this is end of life. My department cannot change. Now this is totally kind of new territory for me, and previous one I could do with the eyes closed. Only later to realize that this change really brought peace in the person's life. Why? Because it slowed down the life. You don't realize we are just running. And this particular case, the person had so much time to relax, did very well in the new role, which increased the self-esteem, the self-confidence. At the same time, learned how to relax, which in the previous role was never the case. Learn how to laugh, spending time with the family. Because in the previous one, the person was just in the work, and because when you think you are perfect, you keep going. So sometime from the first impression, you feel it's a bad sign. It's a tough situation. Life is punishing you. Only then you see and you say, wow, this is actually good for me. There were many other from the workshop that I can say what they had gone through, like, one particular case where um, the lady's son, he committed suicide. And obviously when, as a teenager, if somebody committed suicide as a parent, you can imagine how hard it is. But then going through the Council of Masters, through the session, she was told that this is the reason. This is the reason why he committed suicide, because it was your agreement with him. You wanted to experience this emotions, and that's why this was planned and this happened this way. Because in the previous life, that was the case. After that understanding, that lady was so much at ease and understand to come to terms with this fact that she has lost her son, and obviously not a natural death, this kind. So just understanding sometimes really gives you a big help. There was another example where a lady who was in grief and blaming herself for everything because she lost her mother due to COVID, and she could not help in the last stages because it was, the senior citizens home, and she was not allowed to go and meet her. Neither her nor her brother could go. And then she was told again by council that, yes, this happened because of, again, your agreement with the mother. Mother had to fulfill certain things in this incarnation, which she was delaying. She was not doing it. Why? Because you and your brother were there always to help her. So she never got, it was the easy way out for her. So that is why she was put in a situation to fulfill what she had as a big item to work in this life. And she could only do when she was left alone on her own. So that's why it was COVID, and she went through this, that no one else was supposed to meet her, not allowed. And in those days or weeks or months during the last time when she was on her own, she worked on those emotions that she had planned to work on in this life. So masters, yes, if you go through those workshops and you have such experience, you can get answers for sure. But most of us, and there are so many things, you may not get answers. So that's why these both sides of examples you can use to understand. And if you don't know exactly, but if you know the concept, if you believe in the concept, then you can understand whatever is happening, why it is happening, and you can continue working on these, typical emotions and balancing, releasing of karma concept that may help you in understanding what's happening or what's not happening. So these were some of the real examples to understand the concept, hopefully, which can help you in your specific case, because these are common ones that we go through. Yes, exact scenarios may be different for different people. So masters, please feel free to ask any question that you may have. Please, back to you, Ashokji.
Thank you, Gaurav sir. And Gaurav sir, one quick question.
Yeah.
When you mentioned in one of the case that mother has experienced that her child has committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, the mother requested to know about the past life regression. That is how actually she found that she really, in this particular incarnation, she really wants to experience that experience. And so that's the reason why that kid has got suicide.
She was in the workshop in which and she was sharing her experience of that because in the workshop you go through the in between life regression.
Oh, okay, got you.
So in that one, she experienced, there are 4 steps in the workshop, and then you go through the experience. You see when your past life scenarios, you see the death scene, and then you go and meet your counsels, the
Yeah.
masters. Then they tell you that, okay, this was the reason, this is why it happened, and this is the background, this is your soul plan. So, and then in the workshop, she was sharing her example. So that was that example.
Yep, got you. And for majority of the people, those who don't even go through these workshops or don't even know about the soul plan or any of that nature, then they are going to go through the whatever they need to suffer through or they need to experience through, and they can't even understand that what exactly is being happening. Yes.
See, they may not know exactly, but if you understand and trust, like in this session, at least you came across this topic. But if you trust this and start working on it, you can connect the dots so easily.
Yeah.
Like the other examples that I was giving of the people, like the department change, or those 2-3 examples, they're all at first you may see as a punishment what's going on. All you need to do is just slow down and see the positive side of it, and then probably you will see something. You will see the dots connecting. If not, yes, it may be a pure previous life, you can say the balancing of karma, that okay, you had received care, for example, in this life you are giving. Previous life you may have received a lot of money, and this life you may be donating, giving, or whatever that kind of balancing act could be.
Yep. Thank you.
Sure.
Newton, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, Gaurav sir. This is Newton. I have a question.
Sure.
I tried to do past life regression twice, and I was not able to see anything. I don't know. I was not successful. So does that mean that my soul is not ready to see like things from my past life, or I don't know, like what would be the reason?
So Nutanji, one thing I can tell you is roughly 50-50, right?
Yeah.
That's just in the 2 workshops that I have seen. So it's not a rule. I'm just giving you my experience. So it could be 60-40, it could be whatever. The point is, it's never 100%. That means it is not that 100% of the people will have some experience in such sessions. So it is absolutely normal. So you should not feel that, okay, why I did not see. There are many reasons. One of the reasons, as you mentioned, may be absolutely correct. That means maybe there is nothing right now for you to know.
Okay.
Now,
but if I'm going through a certain challenge in life, this life, then it should be related to my past karma, correct? Like,
typically we can say so, but one thing, if I may say, if we are in human incarnation, certainly we are going through certain challenges. Yes, everybody feel I'm having the toughest time, right? But when you listen to others, you may feel that, hey, yours is a little smaller than. So if you forget the small and the big comparison, because this is subjective, right?
Yeah.
Point is, we have some soul plan. Soul plan means there is something to be balanced, some energy gap to be filled up. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Accordingly, we have picked the characters. Accordingly, we have picked the experiences in this life, what we will go through. So in human life means everybody must be going through something or the other.
Yeah.
Now, is it all because of previous life balancing and this? If we go by soul plan, our purpose of soul, which we say, even doesn't matter which, whether you listen to Buddha or whether you listen to anyone, everybody says nirvana, mukti, right? India is the land of, we have always talked of mukti. Mukti means the soul is progressing towards fulfillment. That means you're plugging those gaps, wherever the energy gap is, and you're reaching towards that. Yes, now you are a perfect soul full of energy. Wherever the gaps were, you are filled, and now you are out of this. You're liberated, right? So
Yes.
this is the reason. So yes, it is highly likely that it is coming from previous one. But that
But
is
how do
also
I know what is the lesson? Like, what, I don't know what is the lesson that, you know, that my challenge is teaching me.
if you review your life and go back as 7 years, and sometime you may be like whatever you can recall at least, right?
Yeah.
And you will see certain emotions repeating. Not me, don't go by the incidents or events in life, but the emotions coming out of it. That may be common. Sometimes we say, like, we keep giving example of some specific emotions or specific things, like sometime common one says, okay, if you are having some accident intensity increasing or financial loss or some kind of relationship that, I'm always losing my friends or something. So there may be a repeat pattern, then it's the easy one if it is there, right? And if it is repeating with the higher intensity, that's very clear indication that must be taken, or you should work on that. If it is not, which in these example I showed, it's not necessarily that always you have that.
Yeah.
But then you'll have to connect the dots. I can give you one more example. Like sometime, you feel everybody's putting me down, and then you connect the dot that, this is what is happening. 5 years back, some different person said or did something to you. 10 years ago, something happened to you. But when you see 3 of these examples, you may see that, okay, all 3 are related to my self-esteem or self, confidence, things like that. And then you can connect these experiences that, okay, when different experiences are all hinting at my self-esteem, that means I have to work on this, for example.
Okay.
People may be different, time may be different, but they are hitting on one common factor, which could be that. It could be your, what we were talking about, emotional independence or belief system. So it all, but depends on your own experience. That's why I say, if possible, write it down. When you write, it is easy to see the connection, but when you're thinking, sometimes we overlook.
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav sir.
Very welcome, Nitinji.
Hello, Gaurav sir. This is Ashok
Yes.
Maineni impersonating as Ravi Muktineni today.
That's your soul plan.
That's my soul plan. So as Ashok, I can really impersonate Ravi. So
Yes.
first of all, my gratitude to Ashok sir, my guru who introduced me to the spiritual path, and gratitude to you, sir, for teaching me so many beautiful concepts. So thank you again. It's a beautiful session. I have one very easy question. Is the karma always related to past life, or is also related to current life?
Karma is every day.
Right.
Every moment. Now,
right.
So answer is both.
Correct. So to follow up on Nutan ma'am's question, she's having this challenge. It doesn't need to be part of your previous life. It can be something part of this life's karma, right?
Possible. What we say as a soul plan. If it is a part of soul plan, then it must be coming from before.
Correct. Yep. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Swarna, you are unmuted.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you, Gaurav, sir. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, and especially this soul plan. So much insight into it. So, yeah, to the questions, if it is this life's incarnation or past life's incarnation, the process is the same, right? Sometimes, as you mentioned, sir, like, if it is repetitive pattern, then we know it, something is trying to teach us, and so we have to be, watch out and be aware and try to work on that. but sometimes I usually see for no reason that you have to, it appears in front of you, you haven't done that bad, you're good, but it keep coming to you. So that could be sometimes you can take, oh, maybe something I have done in the past, instead of like, why did it came, I'm so good soul and I haven't done, and some others are like so bad, but they are they are in good position and all. So instead of thinking that, those could be the coming from past life. And if there are more challenges, that means for you to evolve more, as you mentioned, sir, rightly mentioned, that if something is limiting you, oh, hey, why is like spouse or family members, why can't they buy this? I wanted to buy, but they won't accept you, or they won't approve you. So many things, it's keep coming. So things that you may not deserve that, or something you need to learn from it. So those could be some of the indications that I just experienced. So I just wanted to share with everybody. So yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for sharing, Sanaji. That's really nice of you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Hello, Gaurav-ji, this is Veena.
Yes, Veena-ji.
I was in extension to that example where you gave, you're taking care of an elderly person or somebody who's sick in the family. The relationship between you and the person is one dimension. Then you also have your siblings, your spouse, and everyone else around you who you need to maintain a relationship with. So supposing I'll give, like, let's say, in case I am taking care of a sister who's sick, the time that I use to do that is taken away from the family, and the relationship with the family starts diminishing. And so you have to create a balance. But very often that balance is always disregarded, in the sense that the person feels that I'm giving more time to the sister, or the sister feels I'm giving more time to the family. And how do you manage that? It's there's so many dimensions to your relationships, that you are trying to do something good, but at the same time you are not making anybody happy. So that's my question.
So Veena-ji, is very interesting and a great question, because I think probably everyone can relate to this in a different example, in a different scenario, right. But we all go through this. So it's my strong belief. That's what, like, you can say 100%, and this is what I do, this is what I preach. Don't impress anyone other than yourself, period. We are here to, if you believe in this concept, we are here to fulfill the gaps in our soul, because soul is nothing but bundle of energy, and soul is progressing. Soul is here to learn, experience some emotions, and then go to the higher level and higher in every incarnation. Now, everybody around us, we picked, we have selected them in our story. So what I firmly believe, if anybody is giving me a hard time, I'm giving everyday gratitude and thanks to them. And I'm trying to decode, or I'm trying to learn, what are they teaching me? Because I requested them to do that to me, believing in soul plan concept. If I have planned, if I have requested them to do that to me, there must be a reason. Now, I may not know the reason, but that is my job. No one else can find the reason, because no one knows about me more than me myself. So I have to connect the dot. I keep doing that, and certain things becomes very clear. Certain things may remain hidden. That's okay. But the point is same. Don't dislike or hate anyone just because of their behavior. Take it, you requested them to do, Now it is your task to find out why are they doing this. Not why means for a revenge or for any kind of balancing. No, just
Right.
from the point that what is it for you to learn? That's all.
Right. Got it. How to deal with the situation in such a way that the person, you basically understand the person from their angle and then deal with the full dimensions that you have in your plate.
Yeah, like as a human being, day-to-day life, that's one thing, because then we go by, the human, our society rules and everything and all those things. But the soul is different. Soul is trying to experience some emotion.
Got it.
What is that emotion that they are helping you? Means if people are, kind of expecting too much of you, is it because you are learning balancing act? Is it because you are trying to learn your own strength? Is it communication? Because everybody will have a different issue.
Right.
Someone may be trying to improve the communication. Someone just doesn't express. You're always shy. You are keeping everything to yourself, your pain and everything. So that may be a reason everybody is bombarding you like this, so that you at one point will come up and, express yourself.
Okay.
So there could be many different reasons. But if we slow down and start looking that, okay, what is it telling me? What is it forcing me to do? Then you will know exactly what it could be for your case.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome, Veena-ji.
Yeah.
Yes, Ramakrishna ji. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, namaste. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, namaskar.
Okay. My question is about the past life regression. Okay, I'm going through certain challenges in my, the current life, as we call it. The question is, what are we trying to gain by going through the past life regression in terms of the relationships with the people who are around you, and how does the today's dynamics change? Okay, with knowing that, okay, your spouse is somebody else, your daughter is somebody else, that kind of a change in the scenario, situation. So is it good to know, or is it bad to know, or any thoughts on that?
Okay, so see, as a concept, there is a soul family. That means there is a group of souls, and between those souls, between that group, souls will keep coming in the incarnation together, and they may be switching roles. Now, this is a concept. We know this much, and this is enough to know. We don't need to decode that, in my current life, my spouse, who was she in the previous life, or my father or my parents, my siblings, my kids. No, we don't need to, right? If you suppose do either past life or in between life regression, and you happens to know who they were, then it will be for a reason, for you to decode that, okay, this is happening because of this. Then it's okay to know. But it has no more meaning more than that, for you to just understand that this happened because of this agreement. That's all.
That means like you are assuming that, or explaining that you have a choice to know how much you want to know or how much you can know.
No, like as we were saying in the previous question, that not everybody who goes in the session will have some experience. So
okay,
if universe has chosen, and which experience you will see is also not guaranteed, right? Because you have so many previous life. You will see only one particular scene, for example, or specific one. So depending on the masters, what they have selected for you. Or you may see nothing. You may just come out blank, which is also 50-50 possible. So this is only if you go. But if you forget about the workshop or any such kind of sessions, right? Then is there a need to know? No, there is no need. If you believe in the concept and just use the concept in your daily life for you to mature as a soul, that's good enough. So that your daily challenges, you will not see as a pain, as suffering. You will see that it is happening because of your own agreement, because your soul wants to learn something. So you will stop hating that, oh, my life, or, blaming or complaining. You will stop that negativity and you will try to understand and accept, what we call surrender. So surrender means not that, okay, I give up, I'm sitting here whole day, I do nothing. No, surrender means you are in agreement with universe and you are saying, okay, universe, teach me. I know this is for some teaching for my soul to move ahead. And that will give peace. That is the bottom line.
Okay. My next question is now, okay, if I want to go through the past life regression, what are the options available to me through different what are the arenas available?
See, whether past life or in between life, there are different masters who offer this. Some are free, available on YouTube. Some are, of course, you pay and, go through that again. Those are the different ways one can do that. There are what we call medium or channels, mean there are people who, if you go and visit them, just like you go to a person and they can tell you your horoscopes. Similarly, there are people who can connect and who can tell you your past life or your soul plan or things like that. So if you find out who that, around you or near you, whichever way, medium or those people who have that power, then they can help you in understanding. Then you will, if you do that and you understand that, okay, this is the reason why it's happening, same thing, you will have peace in your mind. You will accept it, whatever is happening, more gracefully now that you know that why it is happening. That is the only difference.
Okay. And how do you change the soul plan? In the sense, like, say, suppose if you're like in the case of a Bob and Catherine, if caregiving is your option to provide caregiving, why don't you become a nurse in the long-term facility and provide care to so many people instead of that person who you are providing being your spouse? This is an alternative, right? You still get the same experience.
See, in this case, it's a good question, Ramakrishnaji, but in this case, the contract or the planning was between the spouse, that means Bob and Catherine. If you recall, like in the example, it clearly says that's why even the kids did not come to help, because they were not part of this plan. That's why it was planned after retirement, so that kids are out of the picture. So if you become a nurse, you're helping others, but that's not the soul plan. Soul plan was between, because in the previous life,
okay, emotional connection.
Not just emotional, because in the previous life, he, which was the wife before, left him, whichever way you take it, right? So the wife left the husband. So in this one, you are doing the reverse. That means, okay, last time I left you, this time I'll take care of you. Put it this way. So it's a balancing act. So it's not that if I take care of anyone, it will be balanced. No, it is like I will take care of you because I left you. That's why it is between those two.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. So Shubji, I don't think there's any other questions. So
yeah, please. Yeah. Can you go for like
meditation?
10 minutes? Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever the time you want. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So dear masters, full moon is approaching. Within few days, we will have full moon. So still good energies, and in a group meditation as such, we get more. So let's make use of that. So let's relax. Sit in a very comfortable posture. Close your eyes. Let's do 5 deep breaths before we get into deep meditation. So exhale and inhale very slowly, as comfortable to you. If you know Anulom Vilom, without a pause, you can do that pranayam too. So let's do 5 rounds. So 5 times exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Slowly, as comfortable to you. Okay. Okay, masters. Start breathing normally. With slow breathing, we relax our brain waves. So let's relax our body as well. Relax your face, your cheeks. Please maintain a gentle smile on your face. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Keep your back straight, but very relaxed. And keep your hands and legs relaxed but folded. Now, let's start observing our breath. Feel as you inhale and feel your breath as you exhale. So, masters, as you inhale a lot of cosmic energy. And as we exhale lots of toxins out from our body. When we keep observing our breath, the energy stays with the breath. And it helps us unblocking any energy path in our Ida or Pingla, which is our nadis. As the energy flows, wherever it finds any blockages, it starts working to open it up. So maintain your normal, natural, soft breath. Keep inhaling and exhaling. Don't open your eyes. Be very relaxed. Look inwards. Don't worry about what's happening outside of your body. The more we do, the more we connect to our soul. So, masters, for another 10 minutes, let's stay connected with our soul, connected with our energy, connected with who we are. maintaining your normal, natural software. Dear masters, let's rub our palm together and place the fingers on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
రాత్రి అయిపోయిందా సార్ ఏం లేదు పొద్దున్న
Now
ఎలా
close your
ఉందో
eyes
తెలియదు
and slowly come
So,
out of the meditation.
పింక్
Take your time and slowly open your eyes and come out of meditation.